they will not allow rentals in the homeowners association except if the board allows someone under certain special circumstances.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the amendment? All right. If not, we are on the amendment. Is there a, go ahead.
That's a question. Is that a unanimous vote by the board or percentage of the board?
You're asking, I'm sorry, I thought you meant this board. It would be under the standard bylaws.
Standard bylaws state different things.
I believe it's 75%. Well, it depends on the size of the board, because from my understanding, some HOAs only have 2 people on the board, and some people have 6 or 8. So that would be in the bylaws. You want to have a 75% vote, or are we allowed to get that far into that?
Mr. McKinney,
Yeah, the bylaws
would you turn your mic on, please?
I just didn't know how far down we're able to reach into this.
the bylaws would address that, and I don't know that any would say unanimous. I'm not sure that that's ever going to happen. Normally, it's a majority. It could be 2/3, it could be 3/4. It depends upon the particular bylaws of that HOA.
I just wanted to ask that question.
All right,
Well, then I got another question.
all right.
If he's told me he would include in these covenants that the homes had to be owner occupied. If that's the case, what Alderman Quinn's asking for doesn't apply. It's got to go one way or the other. If they've got to be owner occupied, they can't rent them. And I thought the controversy we've had in our city and what we've heard from citizen after citizen is that we got too many leased homes now. If they're owner occupied, they can't be leased. And I propose that they include that in the covenants for this. And if that requires amendment, then I make that amendment.
Well, there is an amendment on the floor.
Okay.
And that amendment allows for certain situations that may arise. Right? All right. Anything else? We have a proper motion and second. This is on the amendment. The amendment will require that, Madam Clerk, how are you going to write that up?
The amendment is for owner occupied with conditions,
For exceptions,
yes,
under hardship exceptions?
exceptions to go before the board.
Okay. All right, that's the motion before you. At this time, I will ask you on the amendment to go to your device and cast your vote on the amendment.
Mayor, can I ask you one thing?
Yeah.
Does that not change what Jack brought up? Does that not really change the need for the?
Well, we have to do this amendment first, and if it fails, then, or even if it passes, then he can present his amendment.
Okay, what do you think, Alderman Quinn?
Well, I mean, I was yielding to Mr. McKinney to make sure. I didn't know how far down we could reach into this, but I feel like an HOA board made up of homeowners would be the best ones to make that decision about their neighborhood, because they'll know these neighbors who get transferred by the military or have a death in the family or and have to settle someone's estate or something like that. So I was kind of deferring to the trust of the people in that neighborhood.
All right? So at this time, please go to your device. You have a proper motion and second. Go to your device and cast your vote. All right. We have 4 ayes and 2 nays. The amendment passes. Now, is there another amendment?
Well, I would think my amendment just got overruled.
I would think so.
So now there isn't another amendment.
All right. All right. Now, on the motion, we have on the motion itself, as amended, you will now go to your device and cast your vote on the motion as amended. As soon as she gets it up there.
I forgot who the first ones were. It was Jack and Mandy. Okay.
All right. If you would, go to your device now and cast your vote on Resolution 28-22 as amended. The Resolution 28-22 passes as amended. Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk, on the agenda, Resolution 2922, which she has previously read into the record, and you heard the questions about that. There was a question about knowing if it closed. The other one, Chief, was about whether we know anything about crime in regards to tattoo parlors.
Well, I think when it comes to the tattoo business, it's very popular these days, which they do have a lot of traffic, but I wouldn't think it would increase the crime. We do have business cards that will be checking on that to make sure that nobody's gathering in the parking lots or causing a disturbance in those areas. So we'll keep a close eye on that.
All right. And also the loitering question, you would be checking on that as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll make sure that nobody's loitering in the parking lots, as we do all of our business lots, and also that nobody's there after those hours. So, as far as the parking lot goes.
All right. And the applicant, are you going to be putting any kind of signage stating no loitering?
Oh, absolutely. I'll put in any signage necessary to get the point across. And as far as the questions, if I may answer at
Sure.
the moment. So I know that there was a bit of a concern about, where I'm from, but I moved here before I even finished high school. So I went to the University of Memphis, I studied engineering technology until I was about 22. Decided to take a chance on my passion, and I was able to get my license within a year. As far as my credentials, I've been a licensed tattoo artist for 6 years, and I was a licensed apprentice for the year that it was required by the health department to be. Also, it absolutely is required for everybody to work or practice in the tattoo shop to be licensed, including the apprentices. So no apprentices will be allowed to even start learning or drawing in my tattoo shop without having a signed document from the health department.
Okay. Thank you. That was the other question. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
All right. This item now. Yes.
Also, I would like to also say that as a licensed tattoo artist, you are legally a private contractor, so you are able to deny any person that you prefer from getting any kind of services done. And doing this as long as I have, and mind you, the least or the less time licensed person in my shop is of 2 years, I think going on 3. So we all have experience in turning away people who seem like drug addicts, who seem like they are gang related, and we have not practiced on any persons of such caliber. So I just like to say too that we will not be letting anybody and everybody in our studio, and that's part of how we can do our our part in reducing the crime.
Thank you. All right, we have Resolution 2922. Can we get it on the floor, please?
Move we approve.
Have a motion?
Second.
And a second. Is there any discussion on this? Alderman Simmons?
You know, this, I think about the smoke shop that me and Kevin was looking at it because there was some opposition around it. And it has come out. Now, she's gonna start a tattoo deal. You know, what's she gonna have? Is it gonna be anything, food, beverage, or something like that? I mean, they're it's right along that edge. And, you know, we need it on both sides of the track.
Okay. Alderman Young?
At the planning commission, we talked about the cigar bar, which is what I think you're talking about. And the drinking that was gonna be allowed, the live music, all that. We were assured from this young lady that none of that would take place. And we went to a great deal of detail to ensure that wouldn't. And I feel very comfortable with what she intends to do, and even though I probably won't be a customer.
I don't know.
He said probably. I just
Right,
want
I
everybody to
know.
note that.
Mayor, may I
Yeah.
speak?
I've seen
Yes.
that fake hair, it doesn't
Alderman
look that
Young?
good.
I'd also like to add, you know, tattoo shops in general don't usually have alcohol in them and stuff like that.
I don't know.
I have frequented one before, so I can assure you that they don't usually have drinking. They're not supposed to by law to even put tattoos on you if you've had alcohol in you. And I
No,
know,
I
and,
don't.
you know, I know there's always cases where they have, but I can tell you this. I also heard from some of the staff at Bartlett that were at that planning commission meeting, because I was unable to make it, that she did a good job of explaining on what she does, even with cancer patients. My understanding, and she can shake her head yes or no, but she will also have piercings there, like ear piercings and they're actually safer because they are done by the health inspection to go and get ear piercings there than at somewhere like Claire's or Walmart or something like that, because they are certified. So it's actually a better place to go and cleaner and safer for even children to get ear piercings at than some of the other places you go.
All right. Anyone else? Seeing no one else seeking to be recognized, we will go to Resolution 29-22. If you would, go to your device and cast your votes, please.
That's it.
Resolution 29-22 passes. Thank you. Next up is the consent agenda. We have 3 items on the consent agenda. Anyone on this board can remove any item for separate discussion. Is there any item anyone wishes to remove? If not, Madam Clerk, will you read those in the record, please?
Item 1, reschedule the Tuesday, November 8th Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting to Monday, November 14th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Item 2, dispense with the second Board of Mayor and Alderman meetings in November and December. Item 3, Treasurer's Report for June 2022.
What's the will of the body?
Move to approve.
Have a motion and a second. This is not debatable, so if you will, go to your device and cast your vote on the consent agenda. Consent agenda passes. Next up, new business. Madam Clerk, item 1.
Set a public hearing for October 25th, 2022 for Resolution 34-22, a resolution approving a special use permit to allow a general automobile repair establishment to be located at 5798 Ferguson Road within the I.O. Wholesale and Warehouse Zoning District.
This is for the purpose of setting the public hearing only. With that in mind, if we can get this item on the floor, please.
Move we approve and set the public hearing for October 25th.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on setting it on that date? If not, we have a proper motion and second. If you would, go to your device and cast your vote on the public hearing date. Public hearing for Resolution 34-22 passes. Item 2 under new business is Mike Bollinger, and he wants to present his season, and he knows that he should do it in a timely fashion. And by the way, he is getting his knee fixed, Lord willing, on Thursday, so keep him in your prayers.
And every time you jump, you hear that music like Lee Majors, you know. And well, I'm Michael Bollinger. I'm the director of the Bartlett Performing Arts Center at 7474 Over Creek Lane here in Bartlett. First, thank you for the time tonight, guys. Second, thank you for all the work you do for the city of Bartlett. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Third, and they didn't even pay me to say that. And third, thank you for your support of the Bartlett Performing Arts Center, because that's one of the many things that makes the city of Bartlett unique. Many communities around the country would love to have their own performing arts center. You'll see in just a minute as I go along with the help of our city clerk, I'm going to run through all of the artists fairly quickly. We're opening up, this is our 24th season. That's remarkable. We're opening up on the 7th of October with country and Americana legend Rodney Crowell. And he's just remarkable. He's won 2 Grammys, 2 CMAs, 6 Americana Awards, and had 15 #1 hits. And we had him scheduled twice before, and he got kicked down the road twice because of COVID. He's going to be an excellent performance. The end of the month of October, we have Departure, the Journey tribute band. And a few years ago, I started adding tribute bands into the mix. And I'm very careful with them because there are a lot of really bad tribute bands. And I try to get the 2 things that you need is A, exceptional musicians, and B, I like the ones that don't try to act like, hello, I'm Paul. Well, we know you're not Paul McCartney. Stop it, you know. But these are just great musicians. They'll be performing all of Journey's hits like Any Way You Want It, Open Arms, Don't Stop Believin', Faithfully, Big Wheel Keeps on Turning. Early November, we have Tony Jackson. Tony Jackson was here about 4 seasons ago, and we had a lot of requests to bring him back, so we did. He is an up-and-coming country artist. He plays a lot at the Grand Ole Opry, and what makes him unusual is he's a black country singer. And the only reason I bring that up is there aren't a lot of African-American country singers, and though he's very, very old school. How he first came to prominence was George Jones's song, The Grand Tour, and it got 6 million hits on YouTube. And also, Rolling Stone magazine about a year ago had a little article that said 10 country songs you need to hear right now, and he was one of the 10 for his song Country Road, not John Denver Country Road. Also in November, we have a great family show called Pinkalicious. It's based on the famous book as well as an NPR television show. It'd be a great thing. It's a musical to share with your family. We have 3 Christmas holiday-y kind of shows. We have Merry Christmas, Darling, The Carpenters. And this young lady also was here about 4 years ago. She doesn't try to be Karen Carpenter, but if you close your eyes, you're going to swear it's Karen Carpenter. She sings all, full band, she sings all the Carpenter hits, and then of course they had an album called Merry Christmas, Darling, so you're going to get your fix of the Carpenters and your fix for Christmas. The famous movie with Jimmy Stewart, It's a Wonderful Life. We're doing a live stage production of it at Christmas, 4 performances. You'll see the dates. We're also doing the NUTCRACKER, which is a partnership with a Bartlett dance company called Esprit de Corps Dance. So that ought to be enough to get you in a smiling for the holidays. Then after the first of the year, I almost didn't do it because I thought it sounded just too corny, but the first performance already sold out, and we've already added a second performance for January for Bee Gees Gold. So it's all of the Bee Gees hits. You Had 'Em in a Broken Heart, Night Fever, Too Much Heaven, How Deep Is Your Love, Staying Alive, and Mr. Brown's favorite, You Should Be Dancing. And he's actually got tickets to that show, I'm telling you. And also, the first show is sold out. We've added a second show. I think I said that to that. Professor Wow and his Unbelievable Science Show is also a great family show. This guy is highly entertaining, uses all kinds of visuals that are really fun to teach science to kids, and he brings a lot of kids up on stage, so if you want your kids to have fun and learn something, that would be it. We have Bravo Amici, which are remarkable. Bravo and Amici, one of them's from New Zealand and one of them's from London. 2 of them are from New York City. They have these powerhouse voices, and their concert is like part classical, part Broadway, part popular music. And it has an Elvis connection. And what the Elvis connection is, about 20 years ago, Jeff Sewell, he's from New Zealand, he happened to be touring with the choir in Memphis, and he went to go see Graceland. And when you go through Graceland, I haven't done it for years, but at Elvis's grave, they have playing I Did It My Way. And he said, I had an epiphany. I decided that's what I should do for a living, is be an entertainer and being a singer. And that's what he's done for a living. He performs all over the world. Then every year we bring in an Irish band, and they're very popular. I bring in a different one every year. The one that's coming in this year is called Dervish. They are exceptional. Our youth theater production is a musical. It was a Broadway musical called Big Fish, based on the Tim Burton movie. It's a wonderful, wonderful story. We have Junior Brown, who is highly entertaining, and some of his songs are Highway Patrol, Venom Wearing Denim, and my favorite, My Wife Thinks You're Dead. And at any rate, Junior is just, he also got mentioned in Rolling Stone, and Rolling Stone said 50 country albums that rock and rollers need to hear now. He was one of the 50. We have a partnership with Bartlett Community Concert Band. We have the High Road. The High Road is this all-female group. It's sort of like bluegrass meets country meets gospel. They're going to be here in the spring, and they only do gospel music. We have this series called 901 Notes, which features they're great musicians right here in Memphis. So this year is going to feature 2 musicians, Bailey Bigger out of Marion, Arkansas, and Star and Micey out of Memphis, Tennessee. We have another country legend, Dina Carter. She is not related to the famous Carter family, but she had many, many #1 hits, and her biggest one was probably Strawberry Wine. She'll be here in the spring. And then closing out the spring season is All About Joel, the music of Billy Joel. This guy also had an epiphany. When he was 10 years old, his dad took him to a Billy Joel concert, and he said, that's what I want to do for a living. And he taught himself piano, and that's what he does for a living. And then the last thing that I want to mention is on the 21st of October, we have a new partnership with the Tennessee Shakespeare Company. And instead of music by the lake like I have in the spring, we're doing theater by the lake. So we're setting up a stage outside, and they're going to be performing the tragedy, Shakespeare's tragedy, Macbeth. It is a free theatrical production. There'll be food vendors, and if it works out, we're going to make it an annual event. And if it rains, come out anyway, because we'll just move it inside the theater. And that's it. But once again, I'm so pleased to be in Bartlett, so pleased to be the director of BPAC. This December marks my 6th year here, Mayor. I cannot believe that. And I'm looking really forward to making the 25th anniversary season next year a wonderful one. So thank you for your time, and hopefully some of our citizens watching at home want to get tickets, and you can go to bpac.org. All right?
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, guys, very, very much.
That's the conclusion of our regular business. It is our tradition to allow anyone to speak to this board on any subject for up to 3 minutes. Before we do that, is anyone on the board that has anything they'd like to share?
I have something real quick. I can't believe he left this out, but I believe it's for 5 shows. You can get 25% off. Use Pick 5 as a code.
Yeah, we have 23 shows this season, not performances. We have more performances. We have 23 different shows, and if you pick just 5, you'll get, or more, you'll get 25% off of your purchase, and that's like a great deal.
He is good.
All right. All right. How about any of our directors? Anything you need to bring to us? If not, then we'll go to the general audience. Anyone wishing to speak to this board should come forward at this time. If you will, give us your name and address, and you have your 3 minutes.
I guess the mic is on. Yes, thank you. I'm Paul Kaiser, 3323 Marcus Cove, Bartlett, Tennessee, 38134. I'll make this brief. I'm running for Bartlett Alderman, position 3. I've been a 30-year resident of Bartlett, Tennessee. Married to Amy Kaiser. We've raised 2 children here in Bartlett, and a member of Bellevue Baptist Church. We have a farmers insurance agency we opened as a franchise 29 years ago. Done that ever since. And also my volunteer service with Bartlett includes Bartlett Planning Commission, 4 years as chairman, 4 years as vice chair, Bartlett Zoning Appeals Board, the Bartlett Historic Commission, and also the Bartlett Parks and Recreation Board. Look forward to continuing to serve Bartlett in the future, and request and hope that you'll vote Paul Kaiser is Bartlett position, Alderman position 3. And thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing no one else coming forward, this being the conclusion of our regular business, this meeting stands adjourned.